What's up, you guys? It's Paul here from the 9 to 5 Investors Club here. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about Virgin Galactic Holdings, which shot up nearly 27%, or actually, including after hours, about 28% today, as well as some of the other stocks that I'm watching and some key levels for when I'm planning to buy some stocks or buy some call options, okay? Now, if you've been watching the news today about Virgin Galactic Holdings, or if you do own shares of Virgin Galactic, you know that it's up 28% today, which is an amazing move in a single day. If you actually look at the stock from about 3 months ago, we hit a peak of about $27 here in July, and it's been pretty much going downhill since then. And there hasn't been a whole lot of activity related to Virgin Galactic Holdings. So why exactly did it shoot up 28%? It's because there were actually two analysts from two different banks who rated Virgin Galactic as a buy, okay? So first we have Charles Minervino, who said it's a buy with a price target of $20 a share, as well as Ronald Epstein from Bank of America, who has a very bullish price target of $35, okay? Now, both of them already know that currently, Virgin Galactic isn't making a whole lot of money yet. They're still expecting net negative income for a while, and only about a revenue of $8 million for 2021. But they do have substantial sales that they've yet to make, but they're pioneering space tourism, and right now Virgin Galactic is the only pure play that gives you any kind of access to space tourism, okay? Now, on top of space tourism, there's also plans to develop hypersonic flight, which they don't expect to happen until another decade or so, but they are pretty excited by the fact that we are getting closer and closer to space tourism becoming a reality, okay? Epstein sees sales hitting 8 million in 2021 and ramping to 257 million by 2024. And so he sees positive free cash flow around 2023 to 2024, okay? Now, this is what's really exciting people here. As soon as analysts tend to give a buy rating, stocks tend to shoot up. And so that's one of the main reasons that Virgin Galactic shot up so much today, okay? Now, even from a technical analysis perspective, I've actually been paying attention to Virgin Galactic. I meant to make a video about this over the weekend, but I was really quite busy and I wasn't able to do it. But anytime you see a stock trending in a narrow channel like this, it eventually tends to have a quick spike like this, irrespective of which kind of a stock it is, okay? A lot of times it has to do with good news, a buy rating like Virgin Galactic, or maybe earnings for the company. But what this really means is, if it's trading in the channel, it means not a whole lot of exciting news or anything has been going on for that particular stock. And as soon as something new and exciting comes up for that stock, a lot of investors start piling in because the stock hasn't moved a whole lot, okay? Now, in this case, Virgin Galactic was able to manage to stay above the 200-day moving average. We saw this spike sometime in July. It started coming down again. It went below the 200-day moving average. It was kind of hovering here. And I noticed that we were back in this really, really narrow channel. And I knew that within a couple of weeks, at least, if there was some kind of positive news about it, we would see a quick spike, okay? And that's exactly what we saw today with the buy ratings, okay? Now, buy ratings of $20 when it was trading only around $16 yesterday or on Friday is quite a boost, okay? And as high as $35 that Epstein put out, that's a pretty impressive buy rating that investors wanted to jump into, okay? Now, this may not really stop anywhere here. If you actually look at the average rating for Virgin Galactic, it's actually near $26. So considering we're still fairly far away from $26, I wouldn't be surprised to see another leg up like we saw here before it maybe settles down at some point. But usually when you see a big spike like this, there may be a little bit of a continuation, so I would recommend keeping an eye out for it. In fact, just on Friday, if you look here, let's see. Yeah, pretty much on September 25th, which was last Friday, I bought about 125 shares here just before this boost. I was expecting this spike to happen about a few weeks down the line, but I honestly got lucky here where I was able to buy a couple of shares and it shot up 28% today, okay? Now, one other thing I'm doing is, because I have over 100 shares, I'm also selling covered calls in the short term to be able to collect more cash in the meantime and build up more shares eventually, okay? Now, another thing that I was watching today was Apple. So with Apple, we saw that they tested the 50-day moving average, shot back down, and they started going back up. And I actually told people in my Discord group that if it does touch the 50-day moving average and breaks through it, this can end up becoming a good support, and we would see a little more momentum in Apple, okay? And that's exactly what we saw in Apple today, where if I open the stock here, we did see it retest that 50-day moving average twice, and then it started going back up, okay? So that's exactly what I was looking for. In Discord, I recommended this October 16th 110 calls here if Apple did end up taking the 50-day moving average as a support. And as you can see, these calls are up 70%, okay? Now, I'm giving completely free access to the Discord group, guys. I'd love for you to join. I'd love for you to get these alerts and add some value to you. As you can see here, I mentioned that Apple has broken through the 50-day moving average, and that if it could maintain this as a support, then the October 16th 110 calls are going to pay off really well, and that's exactly what we saw, okay? So that's why I got these calls as well right after I sent that alert to our Discord group, and they're up 70%, which is actually a lot more than I expected. Another one that's kind of been coiling around the support line is Boeing here. You know, it's been going down and down and down after this initial spike we saw back in June. The narrower this channel, the higher the chance that any kind of a good news can make it spike, okay? That's typically how it works. And now we are seeing a little bit of a reversion to the mean because we've been trending down, and we saw it trying to get back to the mean here in the Bollinger Bands, as well as trying to touch the 50-day moving average. So I opened up a smaller position in Boeing here. Let's see, for the long term, it may pick up eventually. I'd love for another spike like this as a short-term trade, so that's mainly what I'm watching out for, okay? Another stock that I'm looking at right now is actually CHWY. CHWY also kind of has been trading horizontally for a little bit around the 50-day moving average, and we saw that it went below 50-day moving average, and now it kind of broke through it, turn it into a support, and now it's going back up, okay? So that's another thing that I'm looking at. That's another alert that I gave within the group, that it's calling around the 50-day moving average. So the call that I'm looking at is the $70 call for January 15th 2021. Okay, so that's the call that I'm looking at. If you're more conservative and rather go with shares, now is definitely a good time to open up a small position if you're looking for it. But these are the main stocks that I'm watching, okay? Even we saw a huge recovery in SPY as well, and NASDAQ and Dow. It was a pretty green day overall, but these key stocks are some of the key players that I'm watching, okay? Now, to quickly look at SPY as well, what I'm excited about is that we saw that this became a pretty strong support here when it went back up, broke through this other resistance line very easily, and you're getting very, very close to the 50-day moving average, okay? And even the MACD line, we're seeing a bit of a turnaround. That is always a good sign. We'll get a 100% confirmation once it breaks through the 50-day moving average, as well as if we do end up seeing an MACD crossover, okay? September, especially before an election, is considered one of the worst months during a calendar year for the stock market. So we're getting pretty close to the end of September, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a little bit of a recovery here in the short term, but just keep an eye out for these different levels for each of these stocks, for the SP5, for Apple, for CHWY and Boeing, and watch for that continuation for Virgin Galactic too, okay? So I hope that helped you guys out, gives you some valuable information. Please be sure to join the Facebook group as well as the Discord group. They're completely free. I keep sending out my trade alerts as well as my thoughts on different stocks. If that adds value to you and it helps you make some profits, that's the only thing I'd want from you guys. So please to join the group. I'd love to have you be part of the community, part of the 95 Investors Club. And if you're completely new to options trading, feel free to reach out to me either on the Facebook group or Discord, and I'd be happy to help you out in any way that I can. Okay, so if you guys found this video helpful, please do smash the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, thank you for watching, and until next time.